Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Avengers, issue 11, 2023. This is a pretty cool cover, and I like that it really helps that it kind of sells Edwin Jarvis as kind of the main focus for kind of what's going on here. Now, I also really like that it's all kind of like hollow projection and everything like that. But that's about the kind of extent that we learn about what's kind of going on from this cover. Let's do this here. So, we open up and we get this one weird dude talk, and it's like, what the heck? I suppose you want to know why I did it. Why? Why does the Mad Thinker do anything? Mad is right in the name. But really, when have I ever needed an excuse to break the Avengers? I'm like, oh god, that looks crazy there. He just looks nuts. I'm like, I'm not that well versed with the Mad Thinker. So we set back to the Impossible City as we see them kind of looking at the Ashen Combine. And Carol's like, I don't like it. What's not to like, Carol? The Ashen Combine is held in stasis. The world is safe. Bingo bango. Bingo bango. When we started this, I said I didn't want us to be cops, Tony. That extends to being jailers. I don't like having our headquarters be a prison. And I like that Carol's going on that route. I'm like, yeah, because then your headquarters really shouldn't be your prison. That would lead to certain problems. Do you have a better idea? Because the Impossible City was built to keep the Ashen Combine locked down. And how did that turn out? No offense, City. None taken, Carol. We need to figure out what to do with them. Find out if rehabilitation is an option. And that's ignoring the fact that there are thousands of people in prison within the one called Meridian Diadem. I hadn't thought of that. Matryoshka prisons, God. It's like, yeah, I'm like, good point to bring that up, Carol, and to have Tony recognize it. And that's not our only problem. Tony, we need to act. We've held back on your recommendation and trusted you with calling the play, but Orchis. How long do you think I can keep from calling in the attack? We're the Avengers, for God's sake, and the X-Men are our friends. I'm like, yeah, cool. And I really like the art here. It really sells their expressions and the kind of emotions that they're kind of dealing with. It's like, why haven't the Avengers done anything to combat Orchis? And it's like, Tony's asked them to hold back. It's like, okay, cool. And we're kind of seeing what's kind of going on here. I do like this lining up more with stuff that I've been seeing in the Invincible Iron Man. Look, there are a lot of moving parts on this operation, and you know as well as I do, we have one shot at this. Krakoa fell, and they had hundreds of top-class mutants. There are 7 of us. You brought me on as your XO, as seen in X-Men Hellfire Gala, Gala 2023, issue 1, Tom. I'm the engineer. I'm good with moving parts, so trust me to call the play. It's like, alright, and I really like Carol's outfit there. And then we see, forgive the intrusion, Mr. Stark, Colonel Danvers. If this is a bad time, Jarvis, ho, the finest of men. Hi, Edwin. No, you're not interrupting anything. It's like, yay! Jarvis doesn't need to be in every issue, but he is a very pivotal and key part of the Avengers, and I like seeing him brought in this issue. This is a crazy, wacky, fun issue that is just a nice kind of palate cleanser that has a nice story that's just told throughout here. Thanks for coming, Jarvis, but also setting up other things of linking us up with, like, Orchis and things that can be coming later down the pipe. It's just really good, because Mad Thinker, we'll have to see how he kind of fills in with everything that's kind of going on. Thanks for coming, Jarvis. As we've set up shop in the Impossible City, I thought you could help it feel a little more like home. Of course, Mr. Stark, I'm ever at your disposal. Hello, City. My name is Edwin Jarvis, and my long service to the Avengers has been my life's honor. And this is Mr. Sweeney, my assistant. Hello, Mr. Jarvis, Mr. Sweeney. Hi, City. Are you quite all right, Mr. Sweeney? I fear the altitude may be giving me difficulties, Mr. Jarvis. Ah, well, life in orbit is certainly an acquired taste, as is that appalling diner you insist on eating at. Sorry, Mr. Jarvis, I just can't get enough of that corned beef. It's like, and he is not looking well. It's like, damn. Now, City, I would like to impress upon you that you are joining a grand tradition. I'm very eager to, Mr. Jarvis. The Avengers are the world's heroes. They risk their lives for us. They may be human or god, or synthezoid or mutant, or what have you, and they may appear larger than life and vulnerable. But they are 201 people. And while they may move planets and strike down cosmic beings as heroes do, they also eat, seek comfort, and require rest as people do. I'm like, yes, Jarvis, he gets it, and he gets the role that he plays. One such as we cannot move planets or strike down cosmic powers. I think I might be able to move a planet, Mr. Jarvis. I'm not sure, though. My memory cores were badly damaged. My point remains. Our job is to care for the Avengers so that they may care for the world. It is very possible that a sandwich could mean the difference between victory and annihilation. And that might seem stupid on the surface, but it's true, as we learned throughout this issue as well. I am aware that my reputation for pragmatism is well worn at this point, but we could simply launch them into the sun. There is a certain appeal to firing the Ashen Combine at the Orchis Forge like a bullet. Heh, I hadn't thought of that. It's like, shit, as T'Challa and Thor are talking about that. Are we good, Thor? I am at a point in my life where I require more friends and fewer enemies, and I would like us to be friends again. It's like, that's actually a pretty good, wise understanding there for T'Challa. That's really good. I, T'Challa, quick to anger, quick to forgive. It is the storm's nature and my own. Though as apologies go, that was a poor one. Apologies have ever come to me with difficulty, Thor. You know what it is to be raised to be king from birth. Ha! I do indeed. I speak in jest, my friend. A king does not apologize to another king. Woof! Instead, an understanding between equals, as he slaps T'Challa on the shoulder. T'Challa's like, ah, shit! And I do like how he kind of looks here with his beard and everything, and I like that kind of shield aspect on his suit shoulder. We get back to Jarvis and Sweeney and the city as we see them preparing meals. Then you simply top with breadcrumbs and cheese, and then a mere 2 minutes to broil. Utica greens, a recent favorite of Ms. Maximoff. Wonderful, wonderful. More, Mr. Jarvis, more, please. An attentive student. It is just a joy to make something, Mr. Jarvis. For so long I have been party to only horror. To make a meal is a thing of singular shining joy. And I feel that. Like creating something. Like making a new recipe. Making a food. Just even maybe not even a new one. Just making something can give you that thing. Especially when you haven't been able to do that kind of stuff. It's kind of like why I make these videos. Just talking about these kind of cool things. And discussing it with people. It's cool to be part of that. And I get that with the Impossible City. It's like, yes. And Jarvis, yes. You have had a difficult time of it, my dear fellow, but after the rain, the sun, eh? You wouldn't know it now, but Mr. Sweeney over there was quite a brute in his time. And just look at him today. Oh, what changed your nature, Mr. Sweeney? Mr. Jarvis beating the stuffing out of me in the middle of the street, which, yeah, I had coming. So if you can't beat him, join him, I thought. Back in Avengers issue 201, which I didn't know about and was kind of cool to learn. My word, Mr. Sweeney, you look terrible. I'm fine, Mr. Jarvis, just something I ate. Ah, yes. A PIM-reduced assault payload hidden within a corned beef sandwich does upset a tummy. Dear viewers, it began, as we see the Mad Thinker telling us about that. And I really like that use of how he just pops up in a strange little panel there. And then here, told you about that corned beef, Mr. Sweeney. Yak. Oh, God. Sorry, City. I've had worse on my floors, Mr. Sweeney. Please don't worry about it. And then all that remained was the order transmitted from my secret bunker. Activate. Tremble, Avengers. Manslayer Cohort Delta is online. As we see fucking some kind of weird thing popping up out of it. And like, oh shit. And I love the design. It's like just classic kind of stuff. And then we switch over to Vision and Wanda talking. And this is really kind of cool because of their history together. Well, no, I haven't had much of a dating life lately. A famous Avenger? I don't believe it. I am not such an entrancing creature as the Scarlet Witch, Wanda. I should imagine you were drowned in suitors. Well, if you must know, I almost had a date with Loki recently. Scarlet Witch, issue 8. Vision, are you alright? Excuse me. Well, I don't eat. The human brain patterns my mind is built upon are telling me that I should be violently ill. Like, oh, good one, Vision. Oh, ho, ho, the construct becomes a comedian. Be careful. I'm feeling so poorly from the disgusting thing you almost did. Wanda? Vision? Yes, City? Bad news, I'm afraid. Mr. Sweeney threw up and it turned into android assassins. Yup. Typical day with the Avengers, and I love how the Impossible City just explained it like that. Huh. Well, I wish I could say that this was a surprising development. True, Wanda. But we all know that's not true. Exactly. As we see fucking, like, android assassins, and I love the art with that. That's like, well, that's kind of fucked up, and they're kind of huge. The all-powerful creature of biochemical and electronic perfection. Plastic perfection. Mr. Stark, if you wouldn't mind. City, have you no defenses? None, I'm afraid, Mr. Jarvis. My former masters wouldn't have it. I am equipped with point defense autocannons, ultra-heavy ship-to-ship particle beams, and any number of munitions to be deployed against external threats, but nothing I could have used against the Ashen Combine when they lived here. That makes total sense. So they're going to have to rectify that. Feel the wrath of the first perfect living plastoid. I say thee. Nay, as Thor pops up. I'm like, yes. Jarvis, what have you gotten yourself into? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Stark. It would appear my assistant's digestive tract has been weaponized via subpar diner food. Yep. As we see, a great page of all the Avengers fighting the plastic perfection. We see Sam boinking, T'Challa dancing around, Carol with a punch, Wanda with some magic, and Vision doing his beam. It's all great. Listen to Jarvis, kid. He designed my diet at my request, of course. Remember Jarvis? And I love how they're fighting, and we're getting really cool information as it's like, yeah, you should kind of listen to him. As if it were yesterday, sir. Jarvis, old man, I fly around in an environmentally sealed tin can all day. If you serve me anything that gives me gas, I'll fire you so hard it will leave a smoking crater. I'm like, yeah, you have to think of those kind of things when you're giving them food. And my boar, Jarvis, surely you brought boar, and none of this Mr. Odinson or Allfather nonsense, mind. Of course, Thor, and I love that. He understands that Jarvis has tried to give respect, but the best way for Thor to have respect from him is to just have him call him Thor, and Jarvis does that. And might I add, Mr. Sweeney has outdone himself sourcing this shipment of mead. Avengers, as much as I would like to make sure that Jarvis is showing the city how to make the Korean-style wings I like, not yet, but I fully intend to. Thank you, Edwin. I like that. I'm like, okay, totally makes sense for, I'm like, there we go. Cool to learn that about Carol for her Korean-style wings. And I love how she says, thank you, Edwin. Have you noticed that the Manslayers are getting fewer and bigger? Witness the awe-inspiring power of plastics. E pluribus unum. From many, one. As they now fuse into a giant one. It's like, fuck. That's not good. Oh, excuse me, Sam. What is it, City? I was just telling Mr. Jarvis about all the wonderful weapons I am equipped with. If you were to put this Manslayer outside of my atmospheric envelope, plastic this, plastic that, the mad thinkers, surely. It's like, good deduction there, Jarvis. City, the Manslayer must be transmitting back to base. Would you be so good as to trace it if you could? Of course, Mr. Jarvis. Locked. Avengers, the city has the right idea. Time to take out the trash. It's like, yep. Hey, just because it can be a cliched line doesn't mean that it does not work when it is used correctly, like here. Are you feeling quite better, Mr. Sweeney? Just angry, Mr. Jarvis. Good, because I propose we pay the author of our misery a visit while the Avengers handle this problem. Mad thinker. Am I right to think he's some kind of super nerd? Nothing can slay the Manslayer. Nerd? I suppose that would be an accurate appellation. Good, because before you put me on the right path, beating up nerds was my specialty. On my mark, as we then see pretty much all the heavy hitters kind of gunning for the Manslayer, and then just mark. That's really cool. I like seeing them all in unison, smashing into it. The use of color, the red, the energy. Minor inconvenience for the Manslayer. Even the vacuum of space is nothing to the living plastoid. Well, perhaps a ship-to-ship particle beam will prove to be more than an inconvenience. I had guests, and you ruined it. And you just see, kaboosh! It's like, yep. City good. And we switch back, and we see how it kind of finishes us out. It disassembled. Someone is going to have to go out and collect all those Manslayers. Not it. Good one, T'Challa. It's like, yeah, who's going to be on that duty? If you brought them back, I could reprogram them. It might be useful for me to have bodies. Not a bad idea, City. Hey, Jarvis. Hey, where did Jarvis go? Oh, he said that he and Mr. Sweeney had to step out for but a moment. As we see Mr. Sweeney with Born to Bruise going after the Mad Thinker. It's like, I don't know. It sounds like a good idea to utilize these as bodies, but they're from the Mad Thinker. I wouldn't do that, especially with what we see here with what the Mad Thinker's doing. So I love that it was a little kind of crazy kind of story, but then we get more leading into it. We see the Mad Thinker at the Ravencroft Institute now. Well, assaulted by a butler and an assistant butler. Sad, you could say. Humiliating, pathetic. You could say if you had no imagination, and the Avengers and their menials are sorely lacking in imagination. They thought that infiltrating their headquarters with my Manslayer was my true thrust, my lunge, but the best feint always appears as a lunge. Because now I know where they're keeping the Ashen Combine, and before long I will understand the mechanism of their imprisonment. No, my Utica greens. As we see, the greens are burnt, and he is attempting to do something with the Ashen Combine. And it's like, no, that's not good. So we then also get a fan page, and then we see that Tony will be linking up closer to what we've seen in the Invincible Iron Man with his Mark 72 armor. The Avengers have hung in space over the Earth, a sword of Damocles over Orcus for too long. But knowing that they had only one chance to strike, they waited while Iron Man prepared. Now, on his signal, it is time to strike. The Avengers only know one way to strike. Hard. So, I'm really looking forward to that. This was really kind of cool because I liked seeing everything work out, learning about Sweeney, learning about Jarvis and his connections with the Avengers, and how this is pretty much like a one and done kind of thing, but then linking it up with the Mad Thinker being like, I kind of want to utilize the Ashen Combine, and seeing the Impossible City, learning how to cook and everything like that. And I think it's a really bad thing for them to be utilizing the Manslayers as the Impossible City's bodies in there, because does the Impossible City need it? Yes, but we don't know what the Mad Thinker's true aims and goals are. So I like that this is kind of like an episode of the week kind of thing, but that we're linking it up with the rest of the kind of stories. We still have the Tribulation events. We have Carol acknowledging Orcus and Tony's plans against them. This is a really well done issue that combines a lot of things together and just works on so many levels with the art, the characters, the character development, the plot development, and we'll just have to see what kind of goes on with this. So I can't wait to see where the next issue goes. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.